this criminal element that has seeped into this is brought to book. The police have arrested several people, more than 80 people from yesterday. Just here in Alexander, 7 people were arrested. And when we say that, in fact, this is a calculated criminal act, we can now see that it was calculated. You can see a bolt cutter was used to cut open the doors here. And basically, last night from 2:30 a.m., very well orchestrated, well organized, using also the torch cutter that is often used to cut steel to open here. We can see that this was informed purely by the criminal motive, because everything was stolen from this building, after which the shops were torched. I want to make a call to the people of our province that police all over the province, police reinforcements are happening. The police are dealing with the situation. I issued a statement earlier today that I will not hesitate to call on the President and the Minister of Defense to reinforce the police if the situation is out of control. The very reason why we decided to suspend the sitting in the legislature is because all of us are very concerned about what is happening. Criminals essentially have taken over in many areas, burning down buildings, shops, and the first thing that happens in there is looting. We want to call on the people of our province that this is something that must not happen, and we're very clear that others are having, there's a xenophobic sentiment underlying this about foreigners having to leave. We are a democracy, we are a democratic society. We can't allow people to take the law into their own hands. There is no country that doesn't have foreign nationals. And the issues we have been working on is to ensure that we deal with all the issues. Yes, every country has to deal with the issues of refugees, asylum seekers who are running away from war, who are running away from conflict. Every civilized country, self-respecting democracy will have ways of dealing with that. Yes, we are also dealing, with illegal and undocumented foreign nationals, because that's a big challenge. People who cross our borders into our country, bringing not just themselves, but also bringing things that we don't need, including the previous week we were dealing with basically the counterfeit goods. Yes, it is important that we strengthen border security, but we can do so without resorting to xenophobia. We can do so without xenophobic violence, and we can do so without allowing the criminals who want to use this situation for their own selfish benefit. We want to make sure that the province, throughout the province, it is calm. All MECs in Gauteng and members of the provincial legislature have been dispatched to different areas. These attacks on shops, the looting, as well as the burning down of buildings took place only in 3 metros. In Tshwane, we all know there it started with an incident relating to a taxi driver who was killed. And then in Ekurhuleni yesterday, and then in Johannesburg. We want to make sure that the people of our province understand nobody must take the law into their own hands, and the criminals who want to seize this opportunity must be put behind bars. So I've said to the police, everything must be done. We must do police reinforcements everywhere. At the same time, as members of the provincial legislature, we are talking to our constituencies everywhere. We know from time to time people raise concerns about these issues of foreign nationals. We say these issues can be dealt with without resort to xenophobic violence or xenophobia as a whole. We need to ensure that we address these issues from the point of view of law enforcement. Everything must be done from the point of view of law. And the law enforcement agencies must do their work. They must arrest anyone violating our laws, regardless of nationality. Crime is crime.